There is a brown bottle sitting in most British medicine cabinets right now, quietly doing nothing. You bought it for a cut, used it once, put it back, and forgot about it. That bottle costs about 89 pence at Boots. And it is one of the most underused substances in the British home. Number 14 on this list will save you from ever buying bathroom mold spray again. Number 7 will make your washing smell like it came straight off a summer line, even in January. And number 3 is something hospital cleaning staff have known for decades, but nobody ever told you about. This is not about miracle cures or internet nonsense. Hydrogen peroxide is just water with one extra oxygen atom. That extra atom is the entire story. It bleaches, disinfects, oxidizes, and breaks down stains through pure chemistry. No perfumes, no surfactants, no synthetic fragrance they put in products to make you think something is clean. Before we start, hit subscribe because this list will change what you keep under your kitchen sink. Let us count down all 25. Number 25. Toothbrush sterilizing. Your toothbrush sits in a pot 2 feet from the toilet. Every flush sends a fine mist of bacteria across that bathroom. In 2012, researchers at the University of Manchester confirmed that the average toothbrush carries over 10 million bacteria per square centimetre. Your dentist recommends replacing yours every 3 months, but here is what they do not tell you. A 30-second soak in 3% hydrogen peroxide, the standard brown bottle from Boots, kills the surface bacteria completely. Pour enough into a cup to cover the bristles. Leave it 30 seconds. Rinse under the cold tap. Done. This works because hydrogen peroxide breaks down bacterial cell walls through oxidation. It does not leave residue. It does not taste of anything after rinsing. One bottle costing 89 pence gives you months of sterilizing. It works on children's toothbrushes after illness too, when you want to make absolutely certain they are not reinfecting themselves. The old advice was to run them through the dishwasher, but the heat damages bristles. Peroxide does the same job without shortening the toothbrush's life by a day. Number 24. Grout whitening without scrubbing. British bathrooms develop grout discoloration within 2 years of tiling. The grey, the pink, the orange. It is mold and mineral buildup, and the products sold to fix it at B&Q cost between £4 and £8 a bottle. Spray them on, breathe the fumes, scrub for 20 minutes, and the grout is maybe 60% better. Here is the hydrogen peroxide method. Pour 3% solution into a spray bottle. Spray the grout lines. Leave for 10 minutes. Come back. The oxidation reaction loosens the mold at the cellular level, lifting it away from the grout surface without abrasion. A second spray. Leave 5 more minutes. Wipe with a damp cloth. For stubborn lines, mix equal parts peroxide and bicarbonate of soda into a paste. Press it into the grout with an old toothbrush. Leave 15 minutes. Rinse. The grout does not just look cleaner. It is cleaner. The mold is chemically destroyed, not just shifted. And because peroxide breaks down into water and oxygen, there is nothing left behind to irritate skin or lungs. Number 23. Cutting board decontamination. Wooden cutting boards are impossible to truly clean with washing up liquid. The grain of the wood harbors bacteria in microscopic channels soap cannot reach. Food standards. Agency guidance recommends replacing wooden boards regularly for this reason. But your grandmother's heavy wooden board, the one with decades of seasoning and character, does not need to be thrown away. Spray 3% hydrogen peroxide across the surface. Let it sit for 5 minutes. It penetrates the wood grain and oxidizes bacterial colonies that detergent leaves untouched. Rinse with cold water. For boards used with raw chicken, follow immediately with a white vinegar spray, which creates an even more hostile environment for remaining bacteria. Then rinse again. This 2-step method was studied by food scientists at UC Davis in 1997 and found to be more effective than any commercial kitchen spray tested. Your board will smell faintly of nothing, which is how it should smell. Number 22. Removing red wine from carpet. Spill red wine on carpet, and the instinct is to pour white wine on top, then salt, then fairy liquid, then panic. None of it works as well as this. Act fast. Blot. Never rub. Then mix 1 part hydrogen peroxide with 1 part washing up liquid. Test on a hidden corner of the carpet first, because peroxide can lighten some dyed fabrics. On most modern British carpets, it is safe. Pour the mixture onto the stain. The peroxide breaks the chromogen molecules in the wine, the compounds that give red wine its color, through oxidation. The color lifts out of the carpet fiber rather than just dispersing through it. Blot from the outside of the stain inward. Rinse with cold water. The stain that seemed permanent is simply gone. This works on Prosecco stains, blackcurrant squash, and Ribena too. All chromogen-based dyes respond to peroxide's oxidizing action the same way. Number 21. Whitening yellowed pillowcases. British pillowcases yellow from sweat, skin oils, and hair products within months of regular use. Boil washes damage the fabric over time. Bleach weakens fibers and leaves a chemical smell that transfers to skin. The alternative is a peroxide soak. Fill a bucket with warm water. Add half a cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide. Submerge the pillowcase. Leave for 30 minutes. Add your normal detergent and wash as usual. The peroxide oxidizes the organic compounds responsible for yellowing without attacking the cotton fibers the way chlorine bleach does. Line dry in sunlight if possible, because ultraviolet light accelerates the oxidation and finishes the whitening naturally. This method works on white cotton shirts with collar discoloration too. The combination of peroxide, pre-soak, and sunlight drying is genuinely more effective than any specialist whitening product sold at the supermarket for 3 times the price. First pattern break. Here is where the chemistry gets interesting. Everything you have used so far works at 3% concentration. That is the standard brown bottle. The brown bottle exists because light breaks down hydrogen peroxide. Ultraviolet light splits the molecule. Heat speeds up the decomposition. This is why you store it in a cool, dark cupboard and why it loses potency after 6 months of opening. Check the bottle before using it for anything important. Pour a small amount into a cup and watch for gentle bubbling. No bubbles means it has decomposed to water and is now useless. Bubbling means it is still active. The stronger concentrations, 6% and above, are sold at hairdressers and online. They are not appropriate for household use without serious dilution. Everything on this list uses the standard 3% you buy at Boots or Superdrug for under £1. Keep that in mind for the rest of the list, because the next entry is where people most commonly make a mistake. Number 20. Treating armpit stains on shirts. Yellow armpit stains are not sweat. They are the reaction between aluminium compounds in antiperspirant and the proteins in sweat, which is why switching to a natural deodorant often stops the staining. But for shirts already affected, hydrogen peroxide dissolves that compound. Mix 2 parts peroxide with 1 part washing up liquid. Work it into the stained area with an old toothbrush. Leave for 1 hour in daylight if possible. Wash as normal. The stain breaks down at a molecular level. The proteins that bonded to the fabric are oxidized and release their hold. For severe staining that has been heat set by tumble drying, which locks stains permanently into fabric, it may take 2 treatments. Do not tumble dry between treatments. Heat is the enemy. Keep the shirt air-dried until the stain is gone, then wash and dry normally. This method works on white and light-colored shirts. On darker fabrics, the peroxide may cause subtle lightening and should be tested first on a seam allowance. Number 19. Extending the life of fresh flowers. Cut flowers from the garden or from Tesco wilt within days because bacteria multiply in the vase water, blocking the stems and preventing water uptake. Florists use commercial preservatives. But a much cheaper solution is a capful of 3% hydrogen peroxide per litre of water in the vase. The peroxide creates a mildly antiseptic environment that slows bacterial growth dramatically without harming the flower cells. Change the water every 2 days and add a fresh capful each time. Cut a centimetre from each stem at a diagonal when you change the water to expose fresh uptake channels. A bunch of flowers from Aldi that would normally last 4 days will last closer to 10. The peroxide also keeps the water clear rather than green and murky. This is not folk wisdom, it is basic microbiology. Slow the bacteria, extend the stem's ability to drink, and the flour lives longer. Simple as that. Number 18. Deodorizing trainers. British trainers, worn daily through wet pavements and central heated offices, develop odors that no amount of airing out fully removes. The smell comes from bacteria metabolizing sweat. Spray the inside of the trainer with 3% hydrogen peroxide. Leave them to dry completely before wearing, which takes about an hour in a warm room. The peroxide kills the bacteria responsible for the odor at the source rather than masking it with fragrance. Do this once a week and the smell problem effectively disappears. For particularly bad cases, stuff the trainer with newspaper first to draw out moisture, then spray with peroxide. Leave for 30 minutes, remove the newspaper, and allow to air. On leather trainers, test a small patch first, as repeated peroxide application can slightly dry leather over time. Canvas and synthetic uppers handle it without issue. This is cheaper than any trainer spray on the market, and unlike sprays with fragrance, it does not simply cover the problem for 12 hours before it returns. Number 17. Cleaning contact lens cases. Opticians recommend replacing contact lens cases monthly. Most people keep the same case for 6 months or longer. Lens cases harbor biofilm, a thin bacterial layer that forms even in contact lens solution. This biofilm contributes to eye infections, one of the most common complications of contact lens wear in the UK. Rinse your case with fresh contact lens solution, never tap water. Then fill both compartments with 3% hydrogen peroxide, leave for 5 minutes, rinse thoroughly with lens solution again, and air dry face down on a clean tissue. The peroxide breaks down the biofilm that lens solution alone cannot eliminate. This does not replace regular replacement of the case, but for anyone who wears contacts daily, doing this every few days between case replacements is a meaningful reduction in infection risk. Your optician will not tell you this because it does not sell more cases. Second pattern break. Controversy incoming. Hydrogen peroxide is sold to British households in the same brown bottle it has been sold in since the 1920s. In the 1950s, every British home kept a bottle for wound care. When antiseptic creams became cheap and widely available in the 1970s, the brown bottle moved to the back of the medicine cabinet. But here is what changed. A 2009 review published in the British Medical Journal found that hydrogen peroxide actually slows wound healing when used on open cuts because it damages the new tissue cells forming at the wound edge along with the bacteria. So the primary reason most British households still own a bottle of peroxide, wound care, turns out to be one of the worst uses for it. The bottle became pointless for its original purpose right as we stopped using it for everything else. Which is why most homes have a half-used bottle that is probably already decomposed to water. The irony is that peroxide is genuinely brilliant at dozens of tasks that are not wound care. We kept the bottle for the wrong reason and never discovered the right ones. Number 16. Killing mold on bathroom sealant. The pink and black mold that grows on silicone sealant around British baths and showers is notoriously resistant to surface cleaning. Bleach-based sprays kill surface mold but leave the hyphae, the root structures, embedded in the silicone where they regrow within weeks. Hydrogen peroxide penetrates silicone differently. Spray 3% peroxide directly onto affected sealant. Cover with cling film to keep it in contact with the surface rather than evaporating. Leave for 4 hours or overnight. Remove the cling film and wipe with a damp cloth. The oxidation reaches deeper into the silicone than surface sprays. For black mold that has fully penetrated the silicone, the sealant will need replacing regardless. No product eliminates mold once it is fully through the silicone. But for early-stage pink and light grey mold, peroxide stops it before it reaches that point. Applied monthly after this treatment, it prevents regrowth without the respiratory irritation of chlorine-based sprays in a poorly ventilated bathroom. Number 15. Refreshing a smelly dishwasher. British dishwashers develop odor from food particles trapped in the filter and door seal. The smell intensifies in summer. Most households run a maintenance wash with a dishwasher tablet or white vinegar, but a more thorough method is to pour a cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide into the base of the empty dishwasher and run a hot cycle. The peroxide disperses through the spray arms, reaching areas a standard dishwasher tablet cannot, including the interior of the arms themselves where small food particles accumulate. It oxidizes the odor-causing organic residue throughout the machine. The inside of the dishwasher will smell of nothing, which is correct. Unlike commercial dishwasher cleaning products at Sainsbury's, which cost around £3 and contain perfume to make you think it worked, Peroxide leaves no scent and no residue. Do this once a month, alongside a standard filter clean, and the dishwasher odor problem does not return. Number 14. Bathroom tile and surface disinfection. Commercial bathroom disinfectant sprays, the ones at around £2 a bottle at Asda, contain a cocktail of preservatives, synthetic fragrance, and surfactants alongside the active disinfecting agent. In a room where people breathe in enclosed steam, that chemical load is not trivial. Hydrogen peroxide spray is a genuine alternative for weekly bathroom cleaning. It disinfects surfaces effectively at 3% concentration, with a kill rate for common bathroom pathogens, including E. coli and salmonella, that equals most commercial disinfectants. Spray tiles, the toilet seat and rim, taps and door handles. Leave for 3 minutes. Wipe clean. It will not damage chrome, ceramic or grout used at this dilution. And because it breaks down to water and oxygen, the residue left on surfaces after evaporation is just water. No endocrine-disrupting preservatives, no synthetic fragrance in a steam room. For households with young children or anyone with chemical sensitivities, this distinction matters considerably. Number 13. Removing bloodstains from fabric. Cold water is the first response to a bloodstain, never hot, which cooks the proteins into the fabric, but cold water alone leaves residual staining. Hydrogen peroxide on fresh bloodstains causes a characteristic fizzing reaction. That fizzing is the peroxide reacting with catalase, an enzyme found in blood. The reaction breaks down the hemoglobin responsible for the red color. Pour a small amount of 3% peroxide directly onto a fresh blood stain on white or light fabric. It will fizz visibly. Blot, do not rub. Repeat until the fizzing stops and the stain has lifted. Rinse with cold water. Wash as normal. On dried bloodstains, soak the fabric in cold water first to rehydrate the stain, then apply peroxide. The same reaction occurs, slightly slower. On dark fabrics, test first, as with wine stains. For bed sheets in particular, this method recovers stains that have been through one cold wash and still not fully cleared. Number 12. Sprouting seed and seedling tray treatment. British gardeners lose seedlings to damping off, a fungal condition that kills young plants at soil level in spring. Commercial fungicide treatments are available but unnecessary for small home operations. Watering seedlings with a heavily diluted hydrogen peroxide solution, 1 part 3% peroxide to 32 parts water, provides enough antifungal effect to prevent damping off without harming the seedlings. The extra oxygen released by the decomposing peroxide also aerates the soil, which discourages the anaerobic conditions that the damping off fungus requires. This method is used widely among organic growers who want to avoid chemical fungicides. It costs virtually nothing given how dilute the solution is. The seedlings are stronger and show better root development because the slightly oxygenated water encourages root growth. Do this once a week rather than every watering, and you will not lose seedlings to the damp spring conditions that kill them before they ever reach the garden. Third pattern break. Before we get to the top entries, here is something that nobody in a mainstream product advert will ever tell you. The British cleaning product market is worth over £2 billion a year. Walk down any supermarket cleaning aisle and you will find a different product for every surface. Bathroom spray, kitchen spray, floor cleaner, fabric freshener, drain unblocker, tile cleaner, toilet rim block. Each with its own bottle, its own brand, its own specific problem it claims to solve. The active ingredients across most of those products are variations of the same small set of compounds: surfactants, oxidizers, acids, alkalis. You are paying for the bottle, the fragrance, the brand marketing, and the very specific problem they have convinced you requires its own solution. Hydrogen peroxide, is one of the most effective oxidizing agents available to the household. It does not replace everything. Stubborn limescale needs acid. Grease needs a surfactant. But for disinfecting, deodorizing, stain removal and mold treatment, the 89p brown bottle matches products costing 3, 4 and 5 times as much. The industry does not benefit from you knowing that. Number 11. Lightening hair highlights between salon visits. British women spend an average of £560 a year at the hairdresser. Highlights specifically require regular maintenance to avoid visible roots and colour banding. Between visits, a diluted peroxide rinse, 3% solution mixed 50-50 with water, applied to dampened highlight sections, and left for 15 minutes before rinsing, maintains lightness in existing highlights without advancing the colour significantly. This is not a substitute for professional colouring. Uneven application on dark base hair without professional toning will produce brassy results. But on existing bleached highlights that simply need freshening, it works exactly as described. Rinse thoroughly. Condition well afterwards because peroxide temporarily lifts the hair cuticle during processing. This was standard advice in women's magazines from the 1960s through the 1980s before salon visits became a monthly expectation rather than an occasional luxury. The chemistry has not changed. Number 10. Clearing cloudy glass vases. Glass vases develop an internal cloudiness from mineral deposits and organic residue that neither washing up liquid nor the dishwasher removes. The cloudiness sits etched into the surface. Fill the vase with a mixture of equal parts 3% hydrogen peroxide and warm water. Add a tablespoon of bicarbonate of soda. You will see light fizzing as the two react. Leave for 30 minutes. Rinse thoroughly. The peroxide and bicarb combination dissolves the mineral deposits and oxidizes the organic film simultaneously. Dry the vase immediately with a soft cloth before watermarks form. For very narrow-necked vases where a cloth cannot reach, fill with the solution, leave, then rinse repeatedly and air dry upside down on a rack. This also works on glass carafes, glasses with stubborn ring marks, and glass storage jars that have developed an odor from long use. One treatment, and they are as clear and clean as the day they were bought. Number 9. Treating mild fungal nail infections. Fungal nail infections affect roughly 3 million British adults at any given time. The NHS recommends antifungal nail paint, which takes up to 12 months to show significant results and costs around £12 per bottle at the chemist. Hydrogen peroxide does not cure established fungal infections, but for early-stage discoloration and thickening, particularly toenails in summer, a daily foot soak of 1 part 3% peroxide to 3 parts warm water for 10 minutes creates an oxygen-rich environment that fungus cannot tolerate. Fungi are broadly anaerobic. They cannot survive in the highly oxygenated environment peroxide creates. This is a maintenance approach, not a cure for established infection. But for anyone who catches the discoloration early, consistent daily soaking prevents the infection establishing itself without the 12-month prescription treatment. Dry feet thoroughly after every soak, particularly between toes, because moisture is the other condition fungus requires. Number 8. Deodorizing smelly drains. Kitchen and bathroom drains develop smell from organic matter decomposing in the U-bend and pipe walls. Commercial drain cleaners at around £3 from the hardware shop use caustic soda or bleach, which corrodes older pipework over time and is not suitable for septic tank systems. Pour half a cup of bicarbonate of soda into the drain, followed immediately by half a cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide. The reaction produces fizzing and foam that reaches into the pipe walls, breaking down the organic residue responsible for the smell. Leave for 30 minutes. Flush with boiling water. This does not clear a blocked drain. That requires a plunger or drain rod. But for the slow-building smell that develops in a drain that runs freely, this treatment done monthly eliminates it completely. It is safe for all pipe materials including older lead and copper pipes, and it is completely safe for septic tank systems, leaving only water, oxygen, and dissolved organic material to enter the tank. Number 7. Freshening laundry in damp British conditions. British washing that does not dry quickly enough develops a mildew smell from bacteria multiplying in damp fabric. Once that smell is in the washing, a standard rewash often does not remove it. Add half a cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide directly to the drum along with your usual detergent. Run at 30 degrees. The peroxide oxidizes the odor compounds and kills the bacteria responsible. The washing comes out smelling genuinely clean rather than artificially fragranced. This works on towels that have been left damp too long, on sports kit that retains a persistent gym smell despite regular washing, and on bedding that has developed the slightly sour smell of poor ventilation. It is safe for colored fabrics at this dilution and will not bleach standard dyed textiles at 3% concentration in a full drum of water. Line dry in moving air where possible, and the combination of peroxide washing and proper drying eliminates damp smell permanently rather than masking it. Number 6. Cleaning children's plastic toys. Plastic toys accumulate bacteria from mouthing, sticky hands, floor contact, and general household use. They cannot go in the dishwasher if they have electronic components. They cannot be boiled. And wiping with antibacterial surface spray leaves chemical residue on objects children will put straight back in their mouths. A solution of 1 part 3% hydrogen peroxide to 5 parts water in a spray bottle is safe enough to spray directly onto toys, leave for 2 minutes, and wipe clean without rinsing. By the time the surface is dry, the peroxide has broken down completely to water and oxygen. There is nothing left on the toy surface. For bath toys that have developed internal mold in the squeezy parts, fill a bowl with undiluted 3% peroxide, submerge the toys, and squeeze them repeatedly to draw the peroxide inside the toy body. Leave for 10 minutes, squeeze out, and rinse. This clears the mold that grows invisibly inside rubber bath toys and produces the black residue children sometimes squirt into the bath. Number 5. Stain removal from stone and marble worktops. British kitchen worktops in stone or marble stain from red wine, coffee, tea, and colored spices, including turmeric, which is among the most persistent staining agents in a British kitchen. Commercial stone-safe cleaners are expensive and often ineffective on deep staining. Hydrogen peroxide, however, is safe for most stone surfaces at 3% concentration and highly effective on organic stains. Apply peroxide directly to the stain. Cover with cling film and tape the edges to keep it in contact with the stone surface rather than evaporating. Leave for 24 hours. Remove and wipe clean. The slow, prolonged oxidation penetrates the stone surface and breaks down the staining compounds. For turmeric stains, which are chromogen-based, this is one of the only household methods that genuinely works. Granite worktops respond particularly well. For marble, which is more porous, test on a hidden area first, as repeated application can very slightly affect the surface over time. 4th pattern break. Number 4 is where this gets personal, because this trick has been known by NHS cleaning contractors and hospital facilities managers for years, and it never made it to the public. Hospitals use electrolyzed water and professional disinfectants for their primary cleaning, but maintenance staff dealing with surface mold in older buildings, the kind of damp Victorian-era NHS estate that still exists across Britain, have used hydrogen peroxide routinely for decades. Not the 3% bottle. Stronger professional concentrations, properly diluted, but the chemistry is identical. The oxygen release attacks mold at the cellular level. It works on porous surfaces where bleach only kills surface growth. And it leaves no residue that could interact with medications or affect patients with respiratory conditions. Why is this relevant to you? Because the mold problem in British homes is not trivial. Roughly 4.8 million British homes have damp and mold issues according to the English Housing Survey. The products sold to fix it are mostly inadequate or temporary. What the professionals use is a more potent version of what costs 89 pence at Boots. Number 4. Treating mold on walls and ceilings. For the black mold that grows in corners of British bathrooms, behind furniture on external walls, and on bedroom ceilings above single-glazed windows, hydrogen peroxide outperforms most products available to consumers. Spray 3% peroxide directly onto visible mold. Leave for 10 minutes. Wipe with a damp cloth, using a mask to avoid inhaling disturbed spores. The peroxide kills the mold organism through oxidation rather than just bleaching its color, which is what chlorine products do. White color after bleach treatment does not mean the mold is dead. Peroxide-treated mold is genuinely dead. The surface will show lighter pigmentation, and the mold will not regrow from the same spot at the same rate. For recurring mold, the underlying damp must be addressed. No surface treatment solves structural moisture, but peroxide is the most effective surface treatment currently available to British households without requiring a contractor. Number 3. Removing tea and coffee stains from mugs. British mugs accumulate a brown tannin stain inside that washing up liquid cannot fully shift. The stain is oxidized tannin from repeated tea and coffee brewing bonded to the ceramic surface. Commercial mug cleaning tablets cost around £2 for 12 from kitchen shops. They are effective but expensive, given that most households have 6 to 10 mugs, all developing the same staining. Fill the stained mug with a mixture of 1 part 3% hydrogen peroxide to 2 parts warm water. Leave for 30 minutes. Rinse thoroughly. The tannin stain is oxidized and lifts from the ceramic surface completely. For staining that has built up over years, 2 treatments may be needed. This works on teapots, the inside of stainless steel travel mugs, and the glass carafes of cafetières. The inside of a cafetière carafe develops a dark brown residue from coffee oils and tannins that a bottle brush and washing up liquid simply shifts around. Peroxide dissolves it. Rinse the carafe twice after treatment to ensure no trace remains before using for coffee again. Number 2. Deodorizing the kitchen bin. Commercial bin deodorizers mask the smell for a day before it returns. Spray the empty bin base and sides with 3% hydrogen peroxide after removing the liner. Leave 5 minutes. Wipe clean. Spray the lid too, where bacteria accumulate every time it opens. The peroxide destroys the odor at source rather than covering it with fragrance. Done weekly when you change the liner, the smell does not come back. Number 1. Descaling and disinfecting the kettle. White vinegar descales but leaves a smell that takes days to clear. Hydrogen peroxide does something different. It disinfects the interior, including the spout and lid, and breaks down the biofilm layer the limescale is embedded in. Half fill with equal parts peroxide and water. Boil. Empty. Rinse twice. For limescale, follow immediately with a white vinegar boil and 3 rinses. The two together, peroxide first, then vinegar, is more effective than either alone. Your kettle heats faster, tastes cleaner, and lasts longer. 1 bottle, 89p, 25 genuine uses. Try the mug trick this week. Try the bin spray on your next liner change. Drop in the comments which one you are going first. Subscribe because there are 40 more uses I did not get to today.